Alrighty, guys, look who we have back. We have got Mr. Louie. This is my 2019 Chevy Bolt EV. With that, just a little bit of a history behind it. This is the second week I have had this car in 4 months. So I got the car in June, and basically since July it's been at the shop. So what happened? Well, in this regard, the car threw a code actually the first day that I had it. So of course I'm flipping off the handle because I'm so angry. And then with that, it kept coming up for a transmission code. Well, in this regard, I thought it would have been something very simple. It was the temperature sensor for the transmission. Now, I know that these have, it's not really a transmission per se, but it still transmits power to the wheels through a set of gears. So the single speed reduction gear is what they'll call it, or direct drive. But essentially there's a temperature sensor on there, which is, you know, fine. But when, it would get super hot, it would throw a code. So we're like, okay, is it overheating? This is kind of weird. And then it started doing it in cooler weather, which that's where we were like, something is incredibly odd. Ouch. I have the max regen on right now and I keep like forgetting how to use it. So in this instance, what ended up happening was Chevy eventually got the car and they said there is something wrong with it. Your transmission is reading at a temperature of -40 degrees Fahrenheit. And I said, well, that's quite interesting and a little bit nippy for 120-degree weather here in Las Vegas. So they ended up needing to replace it, but it's embedded in a case. And the case itself with the transmission sensor was on back order for 3 months. So that's actually where I got all of the series of rental cars that you saw on my channel, because in this instance, that's where we were, is they essentially, I was given loaners through Enterprise, and basically they just kept breaking down. So this particular vehicle, I mean, it's doing fine. I do kind of wish the range was a little bit better, but it's not awful. I did get in trouble for charging at the hospital because I didn't realize it was private. So that was a fun note to see on my car this morning. But basically, long story short, I was really short on battery, so I charged it for a couple hours, and I guess like the hospital admin got upset about it, so it's whatever. But yeah, and my city hall decides to now charge for charging, and I'm like, it's solar panels, so yeah, I don't know how that's like relevant to you losing money, but whatever. So in this regard, this is where we're at. So had the car back for a week. It has been really, you know, good in terms of being able to get around and essentially cart myself around while saving miles on the Mazda and actually saving miles on fuel, which is still costing more than what electricity is. So for one, I love the instant torque of this vehicle. I do wish, however, that I did have the seats from the 21 and up models. These seats are okay short term, but longer trips, they do get uncomfortable. So that is one downfall of the 2017 to 2021-ish Bolts is the seats are not as comfortable as they could be. They did update them when they did the new styling on the lights and such, so that's good. The battery pack on this one was replaced in 2021, so it's still fairly new. I mean, the car had about 35 to 40,000 miles when it was done. And right now it's at 79,089 miles. So essentially speaking, it's, you know, the car's had about 40,000 miles of wear on the battery. So it's done its initial breakdown. And basically I'm going to be getting similar numbers over the next couple years before the car ultimately starts to wear down the battery noticeably. Driving conservatively in this thing, you're going to get good at it. When you do go on the highways, this vehicle, I will say, does eat up the range pretty significantly. Now, mine's a special case because essentially I work in the middle of the bowl, but I live on the high end of the bowl. So Las Vegas is a bowl, basically. And with where I'm at, I have to go uphill on my way home. So right now, I'm at 143 miles of charge estimated because I do have the auto climate control on, and it is giving me a little bit of heat. So that does drain the battery a little bit. And I probably will get home. It's about 17 miles to home right now. I will likely lose about 22 miles of range. So you guys may think, why am I using more? Of course, the uphill doesn't help. I'm also at highway speed, so I have wind resistance. And additionally, also, when you are spinning the motor at almost max RPM, that is going to take away a little bit of the efficiency as well, which is why I do feel that 2-speed automatics will become the norm for future electric cars. So with that though, coming back, however, going back to work or going into the Valley or Las Vegas, since my husband also takes us to work on the Strip, you do actually notice quite a bit of mileage regain. To put it into perspective, I could leave with this mileage from my house and have about 138 miles left. And it's a 17-mile drive just because everything is downhill. So it does trade itself off. I mean, you know, with that, when you're looking at the numbers and you start to see the range go down, it is a little bit anxiety inducing. But then when you come back, of course, it's where you make up your mileage. And yes, there will always be a little bit of loss both ways. But when you do have, when you are going downhill, you do see a noticeable benefit. And even the battery charge, it's cool to see it go up when you have a long period of regenerative braking. So would I have an electric car as my primary vehicle without a backup vehicle for gasoline? No, not yet. You know, some people combine this into hybrids or plug-in hybrids. I wanted an electric car because I didn't want to pay for gasoline. But I do still have my gasoline Mazda for times when I either just need to take it because my husband's got the car, or I also have it for when sometimes I can fall short on a charge and I need to go ahead and plug the car in for hours on end. So that's one downfall. I am finding more DC fast charging as they pop up, which is good because level 2 is not really in my area. I do charge at the casinos though when I go play. So I mean, I do get a little bit of leeway there, or I'll just go hang out at the casino if I want to, or go to dinner or something and plug the car in. So I mean, I do have options. The other thing too is the charging speed on the Bolt is significantly lower than that of other vehicles. So for those of you guys who have older homes and you do plan on using level 1 charging, at least for now until you upgrade, you may want to consider either getting one of these or a car that is slower charging, because my home is a little bit older and one of our friends tried to charge her car in our garage and then tripped the circuit breaker. So it does happen. Make sure your houses are upgraded to handle the charge of an electric vehicle. But that's one thing convenient though, you know, I can charge it overnight with 40 miles, you know, put back into the tank per se, just because I'll plug it in when I get home and I won't touch it until the next day. So there are some things that are beneficial about having an electric car. And yes, you know, you'll ask, does it bring up my power bill? It does a little bit, but it's not a significant difference that would warrant actually me dumping this car. Torque on this is really good. You'll notice I'm in the L position. That will give me max regen braking, which is really efficient. And yeah, it's nice. Just a little choppy sometimes when like you're forgetting how to drive. But yeah, guys, this is my impression on the Bolt. You know, this is, now that we finally have it, I am much more excited. And, you know, hopefully this car will treat us well over the next couple years and we'll get more content out of it. But thanks for watching and have a good one.